Welcome to the fascinating world of Greek mythology and have fun with ME for Smart Learning.
The birth of Athena. Long before Athena saw the light of day, a dark prophecy cast its shadow over Olympus. Gaia, the ancient mother of the earth, raised her warning voice. Metis, the wise consort of Zeus, will bear a child, she declared, and her words resonated through the sacred halls of Olympus, a child who will be wiser and more powerful than his father. Zeus, the mightiest of all gods, listened to the prophecy with an increasing sense of dread. Memories of his own rebellion against Cronus, his father, seared into his heart like a brand. He grasped the implications of this prophecy. Another child could rise to overthrow him, just as he had once usurped Cronus. Restlessly, he roamed the expansive halls of Olympus, his mind clouded by the ominous thought that the power he had struggled so fiercely to secure could be snatched away from him. Metis murmured Zeus as he scanned the horizon, as if the answer awaited him there. A cold unease washed over him. Should she bear this child, his reign would be in great peril. In a sudden decision, he summoned Metis to him, the goddess of wise counsel, whose unparalleled wisdom had proven invaluable in numerous battles. However, now that she was pregnant with his child, she represented a potential threat. When she appeared before him, he noticed the gentle sparkle in her eyes, reflecting an immeasurable depth of insight. For a fleeting moment, Zeus hesitated, but the weight of the prophecy bore heavily on his mind. In a desperate attempt to avert the looming catastrophe, he took action. "I'm sorry, Metis," whispered Zeus before he consumed the goddess in a single, haunting gulp. Her form disappeared within him, and in that moment he felt the surge of power and wisdom that had now fused with his very essence. Yet, unbeknownst to him, Metis continued to exist deep within, concealed in the recesses of his mind. There, in the shadows of his spirit, the child she had nurtured within her began to flourish. Section 2. Athena's birth from Zeus' head. In this section, we explore the fascinating story of Athena's birth, which occurred in an extraordinary manner from Zeus's head. This mythological narrative not only symbolizes Athena's wisdom and strategic prowess in warfare, but also reflects the power and complexity of the Greek pantheon. The circumstances surrounding her birth are particularly intriguing, as they highlight the unique relationship between Zeus and his daughter, as well as the reactions of other gods to this remarkable event. Athena's emergence, fully grown and clad in armor, signifies her role as a protector of cities and a goddess of wisdom, making her one of the most revered deities in Greek mythology. Many years passed, and Zeus was convinced he had evaded the prophecy. However, one day, as he sat on his throne, an excruciating pain surged through his head. It felt as though something was violently raging within him, something that threatened to shatter his very essence. The pain intensified, becoming increasingly intolerable, until Zeus, the ruler of Olympus, ultimately succumbed. The gods encircled him in a frenzy, yet none could ease the torment of the mighty Zeus. No cure, no celestial incantation could combat the sinister throbbing that had taken residence in his skull. At last, Zeus summoned Hephaestus, the divine craftsman. "Cleave my head open," Zeus commanded in his anguish. "Breach my skull before this agony consumes me." Hephaestus, whose powerful arms had crafted the tools of the gods, paused for a brief moment. With a decisive swing of his axe, he cleaved open Zeus's forehead. A resounding thunder echoed throughout Olympus as the celestial strike shattered the head of the father of the gods. And from this gaping crimson wound, amidst the chaos, Athena emerged, fierce and unyielding. She did not emerge as a mere child, but as a fully realized goddess, clad in resplendent armor that shimmered with the hues of the heavens. Her eyes glimmered with the profound wisdom inherited from her mother, Metis, while her spear struck the ground of Olympus with such force that it left the gods captivated in awe. Zeus, still reeling from the pain, gazed up at his daughter. Before him stood not merely a warrior, but the very embodiment of wisdom and strength that Metis had entrusted to him. "Athena," he murmured, his voice infused with a blend of awe and relief. "You are wise and strong. As long as you are by my side, I fear no downfall." Athene, who stood proudly and with dignity before the assembled gods, nodded slightly. "I am here, Father, for Olympus, for justice." In her voice resonated the determination of a spirit that embodied both war and wisdom. The other gods, who had observed Athena's arrival with wonder and awe, realized at that moment that a new power had emerged on Olympus. Athena was not only the daughter of the mighty Zeus, but also the goddess who would embody strategy, wisdom, and just warfare. She represented the perfect balance between the cool intellect of her mother, Metis, and the divine strength of her father. Athene surveyed the assembled gods, her gaze unwavering and determined. "I shall safeguard justice," she declared in a calm yet assertive tone. "And I shall not cease until the war is conducted with wisdom, and that wisdom is firmly rooted in the hearts of mortals." Zeus, now liberated from his suffering, slowly rose from his throne. "You are the daughter I never anticipated yet have always required," he declared with newfound assurance. "May your intellect shine upon Olympus, and your strength safeguard the gods." And so began Athena's journey as one of the greatest goddesses of Olympus. Her birth, unique and full of wonders, transformed the hierarchy of the gods. She was not merely a warrior, she was the embodiment of wisdom, emerging from the profound depths of Zeus's thoughts. Goddess of Wisdom and Warfare. Section 1. The Strategic Warrior Woman. Athene was fundamentally different from other gods of war. In contrast to Ares, who reveled in raw violence and bloody chaos on the battlefields, Athene represented a thoughtful, strategic approach to combat. Her victories were not achieved through frenzy, but rather through astute plans and righteous causes. She relied on cunning and intellect, while Ares simply brandished his sword. On a cool morning, as the first rays of the sun bathed Olympus in golden light, Athena turned to her father, Zeus. "Father, there is no glory in senseless bloodshed," she said with calm resolve, her grey eyes unwavering as they met his. "True strength is not merely found in the might of the sword, but in the cunning to outwit one's adversary. Wisdom is the sharpest weapon we can wield." Zeus, who sat upon his throne, nodded in agreement. "I recognize that you are more than merely a warrior, Athena. You have inherited the gift of wise counsel from your mother, Metis. This distinction sets you apart from Ares, who is solely acquainted with destruction." A slight smile graced his lips. "It is for this reason that I place my trust in you when it comes to significant decisions." In the numerous battles waged by the gods, Athena consistently stood by the heroes who exhibited not only bravery, but also wisdom. One of her preferred champions was Odysseus, the clever king of Ithaca. Throughout the Trojan War, she frequently offered him clandestine counsel, inspired him with innovative ideas, and assisted him in navigating challenging decisions. In one of the pivotal battles, as the Greeks teetered on the brink of despair, Athena manifested before Odysseus in the form of a mortal warrior. She positioned herself beside him and murmured gently, "There is always a way forward, Odysseus. It is not merely through strength that you will prevail, but through your cunning. Keep this in mind. The most ingenious plan is the one that the enemy least anticipates." Odysseus, who had frequently drawn upon Athena's wisdom, nodded in contemplation. Thus, the concept of the Trojan horse was conceived and recognized as one of the most ingenious stratagems in the annals of warfare. With Athena's astute guidance, the Greeks achieved victory, not through brute force, but via a cunning ruse that outwitted their adversaries. "Without you, this victory would not have been possible," Odysseus said later, when he stood alone under the starry sky and felt Athena's presence. "You are the true warrior who always leads the way." Athene, who watched over him from afar, smiled faintly. "The battles of the mind are the most important," she whispered, even though Odysseus could not hear her words. In addition to her role as a strategic warrior, Athena served as the guardian of cities and civilization. She ensured that people not only survived, but thrived in peace and prosperity. Her wisdom was sought not only on the battlefield, but also in the palaces and fields, where individuals labored and constructed cities. One day, a contest took place between Athena and Poseidon, both vying for the patronage of the burgeoning city that would later be known as Athens. Poseidon, proud and impetuous, struck the ground with his formidable trident. From the depths, a spring erupted, yet the water was salty and unsuitable for use. "That is the gift of the sea," declared Poseidon in a booming voice. "The might of the oceans shall protect and sustain you." The onlookers who had observed the spectacle with wonder were captivated, yet they remained unsure of how this water was intended to assist them. Suddenly, Athena stepped forward, her armor shimmering in the glow of the setting sun. In her hands, she cradled a tiny seed. "Poseidon's gift may be formidable," she began, her voice steady and resolute, "but my gift brings forth life." With a gentle motion, she planted the seed into the earth. Before the astonished eyes of the assembled crowd, an olive tree surged upwards in mere moments, robust and laden with fruit. "This tree will sustain you with nourishment, oil, and timber. It stands as a symbol of peace and prosperity." The people, captivated by Athena's wisdom and foresight, selected her as their patron goddess. Consequently, she became the divine protector of the city that would forever carry her name, Athens. The olive tree she bestowed upon them transformed into a symbol of peace, civilization, wisdom, and enduring strength. "It is a sagacious ruler who opts for peace rather than war," remarked Athena as she gazed at the newly planted tree. "True victory lies not in vanquishing the enemy, but in conquering one's own fury." Poseidon, despite his defeat, nodded in recognition. "You have bestowed upon humanity a gift that will endure, Athena. While my waters embody strength, your tree signifies life." "Power fades," replied Athena with a serene expression, "yet wisdom remains eternal." The relationship between Athena and Zeus. Zeus and Athena had a distinctive relationship founded on trust, respect, and mutual recognition. While Athena emerged from her father's head, her connection to him extended beyond her remarkable birth. She was not merely his daughter, she was also his most trusted ally and advisor. One evening, as Olympus bathed in a deep crimson hue from the setting sun, Zeus and Athena sat together. While the other gods lingered in their chambers or roamed the earth, Zeus had called Athena to his side. "You are the wisest of my offspring," he remarked, his gaze drifting towards the distant clouds. "Your judgment is both astute and fair. I have frequently depended on your counsel, and I have seldom been let down." Athene inclined her head slightly. "It is an honor to serve you, father. However, my wisdom is also a reflection of your influence. Without your guidance, I would not have understood how the world ought to be governed." Zeus smiled. "You are the only one I trust to make decisions that shape the destiny of both gods and mortals. You grasp the delicate balance between war and peace, between power and justice." Their relationship was not defined by rivalry, as was frequently the case with other deities. Hera, Poseidon, and Hades often found themselves overshadowed by Zeus's authority, striving to enhance their own standing. In contrast, Athena did not pursue personal honor or fame. She was dedicated to a greater cause, the maintenance of order and peace. "Father," Athene began thoughtfully, "there are moments when we gods must rein in our anger. Not every battle is won through sheer strength. There are ways to maintain peace without resorting to violence. Zeus nodded in agreement. And that is precisely why I need you by my side. You are more than just a warrior. You are my anchor in turbulent times. However, within you also burns the fierce fire of battle, Athena. Never let that slip from your mind. Athena smiled gently. It is a fire that must be tamed, Father. Only then will it blaze with purpose. Despite her close relationship with Zeus, Athena always maintained her independence as a goddess. She chose neither a husband nor a lover, and was not subject to the passions that troubled many other deities. This independence endowed her with strength, shielding her from the typical conflicts arising from love and jealousy. As the eternal virgin, she prioritized her mission and responsibilities above all else. In a conversation with Artemis, the virgin goddess of the hunt, Athena shared her decision. "I have chosen the path of independence," said Athena, reflecting on the serene lake that encircled Olympus. "My duty is to watch over mortals and deities. The love that Hera understands, or the passion of Aphrodite, ties us to earthly concerns. Yet I am destined for something greater." Artemis nodded in agreement. "I see your point. I too have embraced freedom. The hunt demands that I avoid any commitments that might restrain me." Athena looked at her sister, her eyes shimmering in the moon's silver light. "It is not solitude that guides us. Rather, it is the freedom to make clear decisions, unclouded by passion. My mission is justice, a wisdom that serves both mortals and gods alike. I do not require love that might render me weak." Artemis smiled gently. "And yet, Athena, you are not devoid of warmth. You sense the anguish of humanity and respond with a grace that shines even in the darkest of times." Athena nodded. Grace and justice must go hand in hand. However, these principles must remain untainted by personal passions. That is why I have chosen the path of eternal purity. This is not a rejection, but rather an affirmation of my essence. Her eternal virginity transcended a mere emotional choice. It epitomized her purity and independence. She was the goddess untouched by jealousy or love, enabling her to perceive with clarity what was essential for the preservation of the world. Zeus esteemed this independence, as it rendered Athena his most dependable and impartial ally. "You are free, Athena," said Artemis at last, "and therein lies your greatest strength. Free to act as one believes is right." Athena spoke gently. "This," she added, "is the true essence of wisdom." Athena's influence on humanity. Athena was not merely a goddess of the divine realm. She was also a steadfast protector of mortals, particularly heroes. Her wisdom and strategic insight were highly sought after in numerous martial conflicts and adventures. However, not all could depend on her assistance. Only those mortals who embodied courage, intellect, and justice earned her favor. On one of those quiet nights, as the sky over Ithaca shimmered with countless stars, Odysseus stood at the bow of his ship, gazing thoughtfully at the dark sea. His long journey home had been fraught with dangers, including alluring sirens, cruel cyclopes, and treacherous gods. Exhaustion was visible in his eyes, yet he remained steadfast. It was in such moments that Athena, invisible to his mortal eyes, appeared beside him, a whisper in the wind, a murmur in his mind. "Still you fight with cunning and intellect, Odysseus," she said gently, her voice more a thought than a sound. Odysseus, even unaware of her presence, felt an undeniable sense of companionship. "The gods have burdened me with trials beyond what any man can endure. Yet as long as my mind remains clear, I shall navigate my path." "Therefore I have chosen you," replied Athena. "You do not battle like Ares, relying on sheer brute force. Instead, you wield a sharp mind. You are the hero distinguished by your cunning and wisdom. Your true strength lies in your intellect, not in your muscles." Odysseus gave a slight nod. Victory cannot be achieved without a sound strategy, yet at times I find myself pondering, Goddess, if I will ever truly earn the favor of the gods. Athene placed her invisible hand on his shoulder, and he felt a sudden wave of confidence. You have my favor, Odysseus, and that is enough. I shall guide you, as I always have. As long as you do not lose your wits, you will see Ithaca again. Odysseus was aware that Athena had rescued him on multiple occasions, on the island of the Cyclopes, where she bestowed upon him the courage and cunning necessary to outsmart Polyphemus, and in the cave of Circe, where she assisted him in saving his men. He placed his trust in her wisdom and guidance, while she relied on his capacity to maintain a clear mind during the most challenging times. Athena was not only the protector of Odysseus, she also supported other heroes, such as Perseus, whom she assisted in obtaining the head of Medusa. As Perseus drew near to the shadowy realm of the Gorgons, a wave of fear washed over him. However, Athena appeared to him in a dream and bestowed upon him a shield, the radiant surface of which allowed him to deflect the lethal gaze of Medusa without being turned to stone himself. "Don't forget, Perseus," she whispered in his dream. "Your true weapon is not the sword you grasp in your hand, but the intellect you wield. Employ it wisely, and victory shall be yours." Perseus awoke with renewed courage and a steadfast belief in his ability to vanquish the fearsome creature. Thanks to the wise guidance of Athena, he returned triumphantly with the head of Medusa, a testament to how Athena empowered mortals by teaching them to fully harness their own potential. Athene was the patroness of heroes and the protector of cities and civilization. Her greatest honor was embodied in the city that bore her name, Athens. This city served as a center of power and a symbol of wisdom, art and culture, all of which flourished under Athene's protection. The legend recounts a conflict between Athena and Poseidon, as the two deities competed for dominance over the city. Poseidon, whose temperament was as tempestuous as the ocean, struck the rock with his trident, unleashing a mighty spring. However, the water that surged forth was briny and unsuitable for the residents. Athene, on the other hand, bestowed upon the people the olive tree, a symbol of peace and fertility. She addressed them, saying, "This offering will provide you with sustenance and oil. It will nourish and safeguard you, and it will flourish as long as you uphold peace." The Athenians, captivated by the practicality and insight of her gift, selected Athena as their patroness. Ever since, she has served as the city's guardian, and the olive tree flourishing in her groves has come to symbolize wisdom, prosperity, and enduring peace. "You have brought them peace, Athena," Poseidon said, acknowledging the victory. "However, do not forget that there will be times when they will also require the sea and the storm." Athene smiled softly yet resolutely. "The ocean may rage, Poseidon, but it is wisdom that withstands the tempest. For without reason, there can be no progress, no civilization." Athens became a symbol of all that made a city strong, not just its walls or its warriors, but also its laws, its art, and its culture. Under her guidance, Athens and many other cities across Greece flourished as they sought her wisdom. She taught people that true victory was not only achieved on the battlefield, but also in the establishment of a regulated and wise society. "The peace is true strength," Athena often said to her followers, "and only through wisdom can this peace be preserved." With her olive tree, Athena conveyed a message of peace, fertility, and prosperity. She stood as the guardian not only of Athens, but also of all who cherished wisdom and strategy above sheer force and mindless fury.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to this part of our audiobook. We hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to hear more, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future chapters.